All right, I think it's working. So today we have an absolute legend. Joe is here today with us. He was super kind to come on this call with me. And to give a quick overview, Joe's been in the program for around 1-2 months at this point. He's quickly become a legend in the space. Everyone in the group loves having him on the calls. So firstly, Joe, it's great to have you here, man.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I've been in AGP for I don't know, it's like a month and a half now, maybe a month and three quarters. And yeah, I've
Yeah.
absolutely loved it. It's been really good.
Yeah, man. And what I thought we could do is we could just start off with your story. So to start with, let's just get an idea of who you're helping. Don't have to go in super detail, what you're helping them with, and then what actually got you into the space in the first place.
Yep. So we help home improvement businesses generate more jobs. Essentially, we've generated. I think I posted on LinkedIn. Don't know if you've seen it today. We generated 5 million
Yeah.
US dollars, which is absolutely awesome across all our client base. And yeah, home improvement in Canada and US. We'll probably branch out into the UK, obviously, because
Mm.
that's where I'm from. We've got opportunities in Australia, etc. But the main bulk has been the US and the UK, pretty much.
100%. And I remember on every call you would mention so casually, oh, yeah, we got them like an extra 10,000, extra 50,000. Like your results are actually killer in the space right now.
Yeah, I think like from the mentors I've had, like speaking to you,
Mm.
speaking to others in the space, everyone's always hounded in on the product. You have to sell the best
Mm.
if you want to be the best. And I kind of took that motto. As we've started to scale, it's
Mm.
gone away from me a bit. Not anything too bad. But your focus shifts to other things. But still, you other people in the space reminding me of the product is the number one. It is the truth. You have to sell the best, and we've got a 99% retention rate at the moment, which is fantastic. So our average lifetime value of a customer is like, I don't know, 7 months, 8 months,
Yeah.
and like 29 days or however long we've been going with the agency.
Yeah.
We've had one person leave, and that wasn't because of bad results. That was genuinely just because they wanted to sell the business. They
Mm.
wanted to get out, which is completely fine. So yeah, like you mentoring it on the product side, like focus on the product is the the be all and end all in my opinion, because then you'll build a lasting business for the long term, really.
Yeah, man, 100%. So that's great. It's a very interesting niche that you went into. Most people just go with like some standard ads for e-com type of thing. So what actually got you into the whole agency and business space in the first place?
Yeah, so I used to work for a company called VP, who are a big like tool rental company in the UK. So I was always
Yeah.
around kind of contractors and the construction market, and I knew how much
Uh,
money was in it. I then, when was it? December 2022, I came across an Iman Gaji video
mm,
just about the entire SMA.
yeah.
This was early December. Kind of got hooked from there
Mm,
and watched it like absolute crazy
yeah.
up until end of December. I mean, obviously it was the classic, hating my job.
Yeah.
My job was fine. Like I didn't hate my job. That's probably a bit harsh on them. But it just wasn't what I wanted to do in the end of things. So fast forward, I tried like loads of different programs, spent a lot of money, and within 4 months, I just had no clients. Then I decided to make a change and started to take actions. And a big part of that was one of the courses that you graduated from, which really, really helped me for kind of
Yeah.
like the 6 months that I was there. Managed to grow the business from zero to around 16 ish
Mm,
K per month. Um, so I went from like 0K in like September, so I'm the first client in
mm,
September, to 5K a month in December. And that's when I quit my job and left. And then from January to February, we scaled to like 16K a month. And then at that point, I needed something a bit more of a step up. And
yeah.
that's when I reached out to you because I knew a bit about you in the space and your journey anyway, and I knew you were coming out with this product, so I thought why not reach out to Ethan, and then kind of yeah, the rest has been history, really.
Yeah. That's a great point. And I think it's a good transition into I want to get an idea in terms of your agency before you came on with us, do you mind just describing what the entire situation was like?
Yeah, so acquisition was good. That was never the issue
Yeah,
for me. It was at the start, and but the channels came in after that, and that's why we got from 15 to
yeah,
16 so quickly. But the main thing for me, and I know we spoke about it,
yeah,
kind of first when I came on, was the back end systems were
mm,
just which nowhere near where they needed to be in
yeah,
terms of scalability, simplicity, and the hiring aspect. They
yeah,
were three really, really crucial things. So it it wasn't like the if someone looked at the agency, it'd be like a swan gliding on the water.
mm,
But underneath the water, we were pedaling like ridiculously
yeah,
fast, just moving like erratic, completely all over the place.
yeah,
And it's something that kind of dawned on me that I needed to really like sort out was generally the systems and the back end side of things.
yeah. That's such a good point that you made. Because a lot of people, they go through the courses, they potentially see the fancy stuff, how to send emails, how to actually sign clients, sales, and all of that. But then it's like you actually get the clients. And then it's like, you have to deliver for 20 at the same time. Do you mind just on that? Because I feel like so many people resonate with what you just said. Could you just expand on what it was like? Like, how many clients did you have? Where did most of your time go? Why was that an issue at that point?
Yeah, so we had 10 clients, I think, at that point, maybe like nine, and I'd
Yeah,
been used to managing like two or three,
yeah,
and we signed like six or seven like within a couple of week
yeah,
period. The onboarding, okay, yeah, we managed to get through that, but that was a complete mess. Like our onboarding system
mm,
was okay, but nowhere near the level it's at today. And I then had to all of a sudden because we do Facebook ads to get the jobs and we I just realized like I was managing like 9 or 10 accounts and
yeah,
going through it every day was taking like 5 hours. And then I had to continue my outreach because you've got to keep the business growing. You need to keep
yeah,
that healthy stream of cash and new clients coming in, and then trying to hire and build like systems and that because I didn't have any systems in the back end, so I
mm,
needed to build them before I hired
yeah,
so then someone could actually follow
yeah,
what I did on a day to day. So I was very much like too involved in the business from a service delivery side, which I
mm,
liked, but at the end of the day, something needed to change if I wanted to get to the next stage, which was 25K a month, and then the next
yeah,
stage after that, which is 50, and so on and so on. So it was yeah, just crazy. Like average day, I'd wake up. Just straight into ads manager,
mm,
straight into
yeah,
campaigns reporting, bi-weekly calls, whatever client calls, client support, everything like that. Then
yeah,
it'd be managing the outreach side, managing positive replies. Then it'd be back into the ads, back into the reporting, calling leads because we do appointment setting as well for our clients to put them
mm,
in like actual estimates. So then it was 5 hours a day calling these leads that were coming in. So it's just absolutely crazy to be honest, absolutely
yeah.
nuts.
Yeah. No, I can relate completely because I've seen it. I've been there. It's pain, bro. It's pain. And at that point, in terms of the story, so you were in that situation, and then you probably saw my post on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Where did
It
you actually
was,
come?
yeah. LinkedIn actually.
Yeah,
I can't remember the exact post. I think it was the 80/90% margins that hit me. I
yeah,
think that was the big
yeah,
thing there. I decided to. Then I think I reached out on Instagram actually.
yeah. I was actually going to ask what, for me personally, what stood out in the actual messaging that made you actually want to get in contact?
Well, I mean, obviously the messaging isn't like a lot of other people's. It's not really controversial because it's the truth. But some of the
Yeah,
things in on the post were like definitely sparked my interest. Like, this guy's
yeah,
doing something a bit different to other
yeah,
people. And obviously, I knew about you beforehand because of you've
yeah.
been and done it yourself with your own agency for other
Mm.
marketing agencies. So that's kind of again what piqued my interest and solidified the kind of reasoning to give you a message.
Yeah, 100%. That is great. When you reached out, you was because you knew what you needed. And I think when we had
Yeah,
the first conversation, it was so clear. I was like, bro, if you just sort the operations out, like you will because you're very smart. So it's like you had the acquisition sorted. If you just got the back end sorted, like scale was it was going to happen. So that's why I
Yeah.
was so excited to have you on because man, I knew you were going to scale rapidly. So going on to that, okay, so you joined the program. We had our first calls. You got access to the content, things like that. It is even still very early on. There wasn't even everything built at that time, like the operations modules, things like that.
Yeah.
What were some of the, I said, the 1 to 3 things that actually made the biggest impact when you first joined?
Yeah, so the first was the coaching calls with you, and I know the first one we went through a lot of kind of almost like
Yeah,
clarity on
yeah,
operations. That was like the first biggest thing for me was like
yeah,
having like other courses are great, you know, they got like content and stuff, but the coaching calls are always rammed. They never give you enough time. But like you and your team take the time to actually go through the problem and find the root. And then like kind of like inverse, like working back and breaking
yeah,
down the steps, which really, really helped me. It's kind of exactly what I needed at that point to help build those systems. And then the second thing would be the operations module for me. I think that's a really, really big thing that maybe you guys don't even touch on enough in your marketing. Like, no,
mm,
I don't know anyone in like I've spent 20, 30K plus on courses and
yeah,
programs. No one has like an operations module like you guys do. I don't know anyone who's even touched base on operations really that much, and it's such a crucial part
mm,
of an agency running. If you want to take it to the scale that a lot of guys in the space do, because there's the reason you start an agency, because you know there's a bit of ego in there, financial freedom, all that. Everyone wants to scale it to those levels, and if you want that, you have to have
yeah,
ops in place.
yeah,
You must have them, and the module like was just perfect for me. It's exactly what I needed. Like I think I don't want to give too much away, but obviously like the
no,
entire
it's
like
okay.
company note the
Yeah,
company notion thing like is vital for me. Like when I started, I didn't even know how to use Notion before the
yeah,
ops module, and now we've got it built out pretty much like it's like 50% of the way there, but it's
yeah,
getting there. Like and like it's just so nice, and the hiring aspect in that ops module like really helped me. So like now instead of booking the appointments myself, I've got a team doing that, and
yeah,
I speak to them like once a day if needed. Like
mm,
really, they don't have any questions. Everything's on the Notion.
yeah,
They put into Slack that when they're online, when they're finishing
mm,
their shift, how many appointments, calls they booked, etc. Any feedback, and I've just literally got it all there. That I just have to have a call with them once a week just to make sure they're doing everything, and we
yeah,
do a bit of role play. That's about it. So the operations was the second thing for me, and then the final thing is kind of similar to the first, but like the actual community as well itself. Like I think I posted when was it a couple of weeks ago, like making sure I was on the right lines for SOPs and like the progression of one of my ISAs because I want her to become a CSM, and just getting the advice from you guys, like the inbox manager SOP as well, because you guys have
mm,
been and done it. You know the components, and you've probably saved me like 10 hours with that inbox management SOP because you just simplified it completely when I was thinking, oh, I need all this crazy shit, and I just don't need it at all. So they're
yeah,
kind of the three main things, but also the people in the group. Like I chat to Lee and people like that
mm,
on a daily basis. Like he's helped me out with some things as well, which is
yeah,
fantastic. So I think kind of that entire thing, like you've got some guys in the space in the group doing some big numbers. Like I know George is doing fantastic,
mm,
Lee's doing even better. A-Man's been smashing it recently. I saw that today.
yeah,
So like you got some people doing some really big numbers. So I think they've been definitely the three main like core components for me.
yeah, man. I really appreciate it. I really do. Um, and on that, on the point of giving things away, like by all means, we can talk about it because that's actually what I wanted to ask you now. Um, on that, a lot of people in the group, especially on the calls, especially the people who are just starting out, a lot of them have reached out to me mentioning that it's super beneficial having people like you on the calls because you've been through it. It's almost like a glimmer of hope for them. Like, wow, this is actually where you can get to when you talk about your goals, get into 50, 100, 250, whatever it is. It helps ton. So I wanted to ask you if you were to give any feedback to, let's say, yourself a year ago, 2 years ago, based on what you've learned now, what would it be?
Yeah, so I've spoken to hundreds of people in the space doing various different numbers. I'm very good friends now with someone doing around 700K a month
Yeah.
in a similar space to me. And the difference that I see is taking actions. I see
Mm.
it in AGP as well. Everyone's doing well actually, to be fair. But
Yeah.
there's certain ones who you can tell that they take a lot of actions, and
Mm.
that's what's get them ahead in my personal opinion. Like you've got you've got the plug and play systems. Obviously, you need to adapt
Yeah.
it slightly to your niche, but it's nothing too crazy. You know it works. The only difference between like me, who's got a laptop and an internet connection
Mm.
at 25, hopefully do 30K a month in the next few days if a few deals come
Mm.
through.
Yeah.
Compared to someone doing zero is taking the actions. I think mindset is obviously a big part, which I know you help work on in the calls. I know we've had a few conversations about it as well, which is like really really helped me. So I think the two main things are the belief in yourself and your mindset, and then the final thing is just being an action taker. Like you've got the materials, you've got the support needed, you've got the systems there. All you got to do is just go and build them and implement them, and
Yeah.
it's not rocket science.
Yeah. Literally. Like there are people who've actually built SOPs on how to build rockets. So
Yeah,
our
exactly.
client our client acquisition systems probably isn't that complicated. But those are great points. And what I wanted to ask, so you joined, it was great having you on. You started to implement the operational aspects. We had some calls, worked through that, got the notion, everything documented, the hiring systems, all of that. In terms of some of the results that you saw, um, both business and personally, what were some of the major outcomes that you got after implementing the systems, joining the calls and that?
Yeah, so like we naturally went from like 16K to around 25K. Hopefully we'll push depends if the deals come through or not by the end, like within a couple of days. If not, it's not a problem. It's
Mm.
fine. Um, but the biggest thing, so obviously that increase has been super super nice. But the
Yeah.
main thing for me is that a great example of this was a couple of weeks ago actually. So it's funny we're having this call now because literally like perfect example.
Yeah.
Like I had like just like a common cold, like chest infection sort of thing, and I
Mm.
was like kind of wiped out. I mean I still could work, but if that happened a month and a half
Yeah.
ago, I
Yeah.
don't know what would happen because I couldn't do the hours I was doing. And by having the systems and the ops in place, I managed to work like 4 hours a day, and the business didn't change. Okay, yes, we didn't grow as quickly as we might have been able to, but the service delivery stayed really, really, really solid and really good,
Yeah.
because of the fact that the hiring systems and the SOPs that I have in place
Yeah.
for my team now from that ops module from AGP really just like solidified things, and I could get away with working those 4 hours for those 2 weeks, and then now I'm back into the full swing of things and we want to get more systems built out, etc.
Yeah.
But the fact that I could like get away with working 4 hours and like
Mm.
the business still run, bar the kind of acquisition side, but that was kind of me, that was on me anyway, which I want to
Mm.
systemize it. Everything run smoothly, so it's like before, like you see the swan line across the water and it's chaos
Mm.
underneath. Now you're seeing like quite a lot less chaos, which is just like perfect and allows us to scale so much more. So I have now hired and got the systems in place for a 50K a month agency, and I want to get there very, very quickly. I want to be really, really aggressive in the way that we grow at the moment. Within the next 2 to 3 months, I want to be at 50K, 100%. But
Yeah.
we've got the team, we've got the systems,
Yeah.
we got the SOP, we got the Slack channel set up, we got the client communication set up, we got absolutely everything to get there. The only thing we need to dial in now is customer acquisition. So the
Yeah.
ops side is pretty much sorted, to be honest. It's just been night and day. Like it saved me like that bulk of work, which probably
Mm.
took like a week of like solid work, maybe like
Yeah.
40 hours, has saved me 4 to 5 hours every single day, Monday to
Yeah.
Saturday, every single day. And not only allowed me to focus more on the product and
Yeah.
focus more on acquisition, it's allowed me to focus on the goals of the business as well, and where we need to get to in terms of personal as well. Like I'm now able to train for a half marathon
Mm.
and still go to the gym and stuff, which I wouldn't have been able to do beforehand. Probably why I'm a bit red in the face with literally just been for a run. But like having that time to do that and focus on your health, which then impacts the business because
Mm.
your performance, you are the business owner, you are the business.
Yeah.
And as you think clearly, you can build more things better, build out better systems, etc. And the time to focus on other things has been a blessing, really. It's
Yeah.
been really nice. So it's like Easter at the moment. I don't know if you guys celebrate it, but in the UK, it's kind of a national
Yeah.
holiday. So, I mean, I'll take half of tomorrow off, half of
Mm.
Saturday off, and take Monday and Sunday off, and the business will run like that. It'll
Yeah.
run like there'll be no hiccups whatsoever, even though it's not a national holiday in the US. It doesn't matter because the systems are in place. So that's
Yeah.
been the biggest thing for me has been the time save and kind of the autonomy of it all. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are fantastic points. And it's like people, they start out thinking that they just want to get an agency to like 10K. They just want the financial freedom. But then they get,
It's
you know what I
never
mean?
that.
They get, yeah, they get sold into a job where they work all day and all night, and they had like 10K doing everything themselves, and they never actually get out of it. So that's why a lot of them never scale. What would you actually say
Yeah.
to someone who's like, oh, I don't have time to make SOPs, I don't have time to hire, it's just better if I do it
Every
myself?
everyone has time. So like at
Yeah.
that point at 10K a month, yes, okay, you're making good money because the margins are good, but you're a glorified freelancer
Yeah.
at that point. Like, yes, I'm taking home the same I did at 10K a month. That's on purpose, by the way, because I'm reinvesting in the business, and I'm trying to. That's
Yeah.
one mindset issue I'm having at the moment, trying to battle like buying stupid cars and stupid watches and going on vacations and
Yeah.
stuff. But like at that point, you need to assess like it. Some people are happy doing being a glorified freelancer, which is fair enough, and
Yeah.
making taking home what 6 7K a month, which is it's a good wage.
Yeah.
But you need to if there is someone if there is someone out there that wants to grow it further than that, take 17 20K home a month, 50K home a month at some points. You need to have these systems in place, and for people to say that they don't have time, they definitely do.
Mm.
There's so much time in the day. Like even if for a week you have to sacrifice, doing a few things, going out with friends, whatever
Mm.
it is, just to get these things built. The amount of time that you save is absolutely insane. Like hiring is so worth it.
Yeah.
What did I? Let's see if I can find it really really quickly. I put a quote on LinkedIn today.
Mm.
Um, what was it? Let me see if I can find it really quick. Ah, yeah. Douglas Conan, who's like one of the like award-winning CEOs, or whatever, he said to win in the marketplace, you first must win in the workplace. Meaning that hiring A players is the
Mm.
key to success. Like we always talk about it, don't we? Like if someone can do 80% of your job well
Yeah.
and take that away from you, then it's worth the trade off of that 20%. It 100% is. And
Yeah.
like if you want to get anywhere and make serious money, like more like because 6 to 7K is okay, like it's fine. You need to get in your mindset, by the way, that that's not good money, because
Yeah.
that's how you progress.
Yeah.
So in reality, it's dog shit money. And
Yeah.
if you want to get to the level that you think you deserve, and you do deserve because you work hard, then you have to have an A player team
Yeah.
around you. In order to have A player teams, you need to have A player systems. Otherwise, you're going to go
Yeah.
absolutely insane, and those people are going to leave. And then you need to have hiring systems in place that you need to
Yeah.
build, which the operations module really, really helped me out with for that. And now you get A players on your team, the sky's the limit, really. The
Yeah.
sky is the limit. So anyone who doesn't have time, the time that you save by just doing those extra 20 hours building out those SOPs
Yeah.
is it's invaluable. And if you've got access to the ops module in AGP, then instead of 40 hours, it'll take you 20 hours because you've already got the skeleton and the frameworks there. You
Yeah.
kind of just got to plug and play your individual business because, as much as you try to make it like specific, every
Yeah.
business is different, every
Yeah.
agency is different. So just plug and play the skeletons, make it towards you, and you're sailing from there. To be honest, yes, it's a bit more work in the front end, but you got to pick your pain at the end of the day. Like do you want to add an extra 20 hours to one work week, or just be running around frantically doing 80 hours a week for,
Yeah.
6 to 7 months until you eventually crash and burn out. And then
Yeah.
that 10K a month starts to slowly fall away
Yeah.
because clients' results suffer, etc. So yeah, that's the advice I would give to someone in that kind of glorified freelancer position.
Yeah. And a lot of people, they never realize that they're stuck in the mindset of doing everything themselves. And the example that we always give, because you realize this faster than most of the other people in there, because you came in knowing, okay, operation scale, and just the idea of like you could do an hour of appointment setting every day, 5 hours a week, 20 hours a month, or you could spend that same hour just making the SOP, spending an extra hour, so 2 hours upfront, but then you save an hour a day, but then it's an hour every day. So let's say every weekday for a month is 20 hours for a whole year. It just builds on. So if you are intelligent enough to identify that, that's how you're going to progress really quickly, and that's what you are doing right now. And
And
on that,
that's a oh, sorry, just
yeah,
going to
go
say
ahead.
that's a really good point because I'm just going to work it out. So it's easy. So if you're doing 10K a month and you're working 40 hours a week, let's say, so
Yeah,
you're working 160 hours. Your dollar value, like your hourly wage, is technically $62.50. You have to start thinking like that, otherwise you're never going to progress. So I don't know what
yeah,
mine is, like $250 my hourly wage at the moment, whatever it is. And you can pay. So you spend $120 of your time building
yeah,
this ISA,
yeah,
like appointment setting SOP,
yeah,
for them to pay them like three to $5 an
yeah,
hour,
yeah,
and you profit that time back. It just makes so much more financial sense. So I think that's something that people should actually do the calculation on if they're looking to, like, we don't want to, we just want to do it ourselves and stuff. Do it like
yeah,
an hourly wage, like you would in a normal job, because
yeah,
your time is money at the end of the day.
yeah, bro, 100%. Because it's the same with acquisition. It's the same with everything in the business. If you're still doing it, then it's like, but then it's like, okay, if your hourly wage is $50, but you still do your own cooking as well, so you spend like 3 hours per day on cooking food, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like that's absurd, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you have to start thinking like that if you want to get anywhere above
Yeah.
above 10K. Some people don't, and that's fine. But the
Mm.
majority of people who started the agency for the reasons they did, they want to earn more than 10K a month,
Yeah.
hundred
Especially the
percent.
people in our group. Like,
Yeah, I know. Well,
yeah.
some of us have got expensive taste, i.e., me. So I need to, if I want to fund the lifestyle I want, I've got
Yeah.
to make.
Yeah. But no, completely right. And what you were saying about getting a team people around you, 100% with the team, with the business, with the people you are around with. And that's also what we want to do with the community. Having people that think like you, think like the people who are like, oh, 10K, man, that's broke. Like, oh, I feel so poor. Like I'm in the streets. Like having people that think like that it just amplifies everything. So that's what we really want to foster in there. And let's say 12 months out, where do you actually want to be? What's your goal?
Yeah, so by December, I want to be at 100K a month.
Yeah.
That's kind of the goal I want to get to with this business. Then I'm going to, with the help of the operations module, get almost a managing director in to essentially
Mm,
manage it on autopilot for me. And
nice.
then what I want to do is plug and play the systems that I've currently got
Mm,
into a new business, use the profit for that 1 month of a 50K profit,
mm,
dump into ads, dump into acquisition systems, hire a team, and scale that agency up. So in the next year, we're speaking in a year's time, I'd like to have one business at 100K a month,
mm,
one business at 30, 35K, maybe 40K a month that I'm actively managing. And then at 50K a month to 60K a month, I'll then get another managing director in,
mm,
go and set up a new business. We might acquire some, etc. And I essentially, that's the main plan for me, is to build, 6 or 7 agencies at 100K a month each, um, in sub niches, and essentially have a head office function, where either I'm the CEO if I want to get CEO in because I can't be asked anymore. Then essentially having that function with accounting and stuff, and like that's my ultimate goal. So within 12 months, I'd like to have this agency at 100K a month, and then another one at 30K a month that's growing rapidly. That's kind of the big plan for me.
I like it, bro. That's a great goal. That's a great goal. And you
It
can
is,
see the
and
difference. Yeah. in the way that you think versus everyone else.
Yeah, because
It's
I've
nice.
I've got the systems are there. That like
Yeah,
okay, the systems need a bit of work, but to get to 100k month. But once they're at 100k month, I've spoke to a lot of people who've done the 100k month and plus.
yeah,
Their margins have been best at 100k, and getting anything above that, they've had to sacrifice more margins. So hovering at that and having an MD who can,
mm,
progress it organically or in it, or however we decide, while having those systems like they might break, but if we build them for a 100k month agency, they won't break. And from that
yeah,
point, we can plug and play that into different businesses.
yeah,
And that, again, bloody insight here, I'm giving away my bloody business plan. But like, if then I acquire businesses who are doing
yeah,
50k a month, 60k a month, I can then plug and play my systems in there,
yeah,
take away the time, strip the assets,
yeah,
and essentially just build it into the business and then scale it really, really quickly at high margins. So the
yeah,
system for me it's grown on me. Like the systems are absolutely everything. And if you're at like 5k a month watching this, 6k a month, you're creeping up to that 10k. Please just number one, I'd say buy AGP to just get the operations easily, and then you've got
yeah,
everything else as well. But you need to start getting things down on paper. You need to start building the systems out because I didn't and was at 16k a month and was scrambling. Luckily, I found AGP, so it was fine for me. But at that point, like if I didn't have that, I would have just been completely
mm,
scrambling, and the business could have fell on its ass to be completely honest.
mm, yeah. And the thing is, even if you go into the other businesses, you invest in the companies, you implement the systems, because you've started this process now of documentation in Notion, like it's just going to build on itself. Every single thing that you do is now compounding. You've started that compounding effect. So by the time you do want to invest, it's going to be clean, it's going to be efficient, it's going to be organized. So you're in a great position there.
Yeah, exactly. I think like once you have that mindset shift about
Mm.
documenting and getting things on paper, you can never go back. It's like
Yeah,
once you make your first like I don't know like 1k like you make your first 10k month in the agency base, you can't go back. Like it
yeah,
it just like is like a hygiene standard for you now. So like
yeah.
everything is like that for me when I'm reporting and do it like now like I'm starting to think like you. If I'm doing something twice in a week
Mm.
and it's the exact same steps. Why am I doing it?
Yeah,
And then go back to the drawing board for SOPs and stuff for that. But that's kind of the mindset shift that I had from getting from that 16 to 25, 30k a
yeah,
month.
yeah. It's like it's your job as the founder to find proof of concept, and once you find it, it's like give it to someone else.
Exactly. And that's been like for me that's been the biggest thing. Like if you do any other of these like anyone who's watching you'll find out obviously like the acquisition systems. I'm not even dived into them yet, like the value that I've got alone from the ops side, because that was the big
Yeah,
thing. I mean, client acquisition's slowing down because we've had deliverability issues because I didn't set them
yeah,
up in the way Josiah said.
yeah,
um my fault. So I'll be going back to them, and I'm sure the client acquisitions will be like scaling like crazy as well. Because there's some people in there like they've literally started from zero and they're earning really, really good money
yeah,
because of these acquisition systems. So like my my aspect of AGP is like one small operations module that
yeah,
has changed my business forever. But yet there's like six other modules. Like there's just
yeah.
crazy. Like there's a lot of other stuff in there that I've not even had chance to look at yet.
That's crazy. Because the thing is, we market the acquisition side of things. Oh, book 100 appointments.
Yeah.
Oh, close at 30%. Oh, get out of sales. But it's like you haven't even gone for that yet. So that's I'm glad to hear it, and we're obviously releasing more stuff now. So that's going to be great. And firstly, I really appreciate you coming on. One of the last things I wanted to ask, the question that I, the pretty loaded question, but answer it as honestly as you can, please. A lot of people after watching this are most likely going to be like, "Oh, okay, they did this interview. Ethan probably paid the guy. Joe, should I
I
actually
wish,
sign
bloody
up?"
hell.
Yeah, yeah. But they'll probably be on the fence. So they'll be wondering, how would you help someone like that make a decision? It doesn't have to be anything crazy. But if someone did ask you that, what would you say to them? Because they're probably going to ask you, and I want to front load all of this so you don't have to deal with those questions.
Yeah, yeah. So, I think it comes back to what I said previously. A difference I see between people making 0k a month with the same
Yeah,
internet connection, same laptop, is taking actions. And you need to take risks. Again, on LinkedIn, I put a quote on, risk more than others think is safe, dream more than others think is practical. I think
Yeah.
that's a really, really hard hitting quote, actually. And action takers and taking the risk, but it's not even a risk, to be honest, because like it's proven, the systems are proven to work. So
Mm.
it's you you have to be an action taker in business. The reason that I
Yeah.
know people who've got to these 700K a month, 9 million, $10 million a year, is because they've taken action. And yes, do your own due diligence. Ask me on LinkedIn, reach out to me, whatever. I don't mind. I'll tell you my honest feedback. And then you need to make the decision for yourself. You need to weigh up the pros and cons. Newsflash, there's a lot more pros than cons. I don't think there is any cons, to be honest. And you need to then make an educated decision yourself and then take the action, because you need to be well informed about your decision making and your pros and cons. Because if you go in and you know have gone on it because I've said so or whatever, then you're going in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll do well regardless, but you're going in for the
Mhm.
wrong reasons. So like, action takers, you've probably seen this as well.
Yeah.
Anyone who takes actions always does
100%.
better. And you need to go away and do your own due diligence as well. Like,
Mm.
can't copy and paste. You need
Mm.
to be your own decision maker, and you need to decide for yourself, because it is your business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I I can say, like, hand on my heart, you wouldn't regret it if you did make an erratic decision. But I wouldn't recommend that. But when
Okay.
you weigh up the pros and cons anyway, you make the decision of hopping on, because it is that good.
I appreciate it, man. And yeah, completely.
No
Like
worries.
we we would rather turn someone down than be like, oh, just join blindly. Like think about it.
Exactly.
If it does make sense, do it. If not, it's like it's cool, man.
It's
We'll have our
fine.
calls. We'll have our calls regardless, man. So either way, man, it was an absolute pleasure having you on. I appreciate it, and
Appreciate it, bro.
definitely talk again when you get to the 100K.
Yeah, that's the plan, mate. 50K within the next couple of months, then 100K ASAP. Yeah,
Easy, man. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
perfect. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Bye.